Well, now we've teamed up with Keith and B-Wolf. Got Johan in behind us, so we're convoying on to Cochrane. If you want to take a nice route down and you come from central Alberta, I do recommend taking Highway 1 from Sundre. It's a beautiful road with great scenery. Unfortunately, just due to how the three of us have to meet up, Highway 2 is the most convenient. And then we're going to swap over at Olds and take the old highway. So it's just a little nicer route rather than just driving straight the whole time. So I'd always recommend giving a few extra minutes and, take a detour. Enjoy the travel.
Now we're on Highway 22 and we're just hitting some of the corners and valleys. Just a lot nicer of a road to drive on. Keeps you a little bit more amused rather than just bombing down Highway 2 and dealing with all the horrible drivers on that highway. So I like taking this road anytime I can. Just gives that little bit more scenery. Now we've just turned on to Highway 40, otherwise known as the Forestry Trunk Road. Going to follow this for 24 kilometers to the trailhead of the Transalta. It's a nice curvy little road, a little rough in spots.
So this is where you really want to watch the road, especially during winter. It gets a little icy. As you can see, the corners are pretty sharp, so make sure you slow down on the Forest Trunk Road and take your time.
Now at the trailhead, there's a nice staging area where you can air down your tires and get ready to hit the actual trail. You do want to air down because it gets pretty rough and lots of washboard in there, so I'm running 10-ply tires, so I usually drop down to about 8 psi. This time I only did 12 psi, and as you'll see later in the video, I should have went lower.
Official Ghost Public Land Use Zone sign. A few people parked over here. We're officially entering the designated trail system. So, but I'll see a few people out exploring by foot or by skis or something. So, but we're heading in on the vehicles. So we decided to put B-Wolf in the front. He's got a winch. Keith's lockers are down, unfortunately. So he's in the middle, and then I'm in the very rear because I got a winch. And we'll make our way. Last time we were in here, you could actually see the river. Now the river you cannot see. So, pretty crazy. This part's pretty cool. Don't look down.
I like to stop in here and grab a few pictures and the occasional video because you get to overlook Ghost River and the valley with the mountains in the background, and it's just absolutely beautiful.
It's been a hard morning, obviously. Reese is asleep in the back while we're on rough roads. But, me and your daddy. She's camera shy. Yeah, lots of snow out here. Absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, we're down in the mountains now, Eddie.
Dropping down into Ghost Valley. Now this hill gets pretty icy, so you really want to watch it coming down and going back up and keep your eyes out for other traffic. Take your time and just enjoy the scenery around you.
There's the valley.
So the day before, we were actually receiving pictures of people stuck on this hill and everything else, because there was a group of about 20 that came out, and that's why everything's so packed down. But after the big snowfall, it actually created quite a bit of extra work for them to go in, but they packed everything down really well. So that's one thing when you're wanting to consider going into the valley, is what has the recent snowfall conditions been and how many people have been out there. So always check the pages, see what the conditions are like, and there's always information on what's going on out here.
That looks like you get stuck.
Just popped out a bit further down from you there, Keith. Here we're down.
Oh, yeah.
That's the road we come out on.
Oh. You took a different path.
You gotta wait. I don't know. Why not?
The river crossings. Now these, when it's really cold out, like minus 30s and colder, you get huge ice ridges and they are difficult to climb up on both sides. As you can see, this is pretty mild. It hasn't been super cold, so it actually didn't take much to get up either side of these on any of the river crossings. Did see a few lower height vehicles struggle, like that little Nissan Xterra that went past us, just due to having smaller tires and lower to the ground. It was hard for them to clear, but take time and you can get over them.
You know you're doing Jeep things, goddammit, computer. Right?
Even when I did Ruby, I was fighting with over. I took the high road. That way, or we're gonna go that way? Oh, this is gonna be fun coming out. I gotta drop your tire in. Right side drops. I'll test how deep it is. I was going to try to straddle it, but figured why not? Just a little walk and roll through.
I got a good laugh out of these big slush pits. They look deep, intimidating, and kind of looks like you're going to get stuck. But as you can see, they weren't even as deep as the rim, just due to the base being so solid from it being so cold. Easy to pass through, and we just continue on.
Some high center,
Oh, yeah, I guess.
right?
Yep.
Get you after now. Chippies. Come on, Bale.
Rookie mistake. Didn't keep my momentum going. Spun out on this little hill due to an open front diff and big lug tires. So, had to take a second run at it. But with the second run, I got up no problem. A little bit more momentum, a little bit more throttle, and away I went. Well, there's the falls. All the way along here, you can see the ice hanging off the cliff. It's really cool to see, and if you go further down past the falls, you can see even more yet. But we're going to come up to the falls, take a little break, and check these things out. They are absolutely beautiful and a must-have to see, in my opinion. Got to at least see it once, but I usually end up going a couple times a year just because I do love this trail, and it's so gorgeous back in here. If you haven't noticed already, I like to take little offshoots and a different path everyone else takes. Later in the video, it kind of gets me in a little bit of trouble, but you know, it doesn't hurt to try different spots that everyone else is going, get some different views, and get a few shots along the way. So once you go over to the falls, there's actually 2 crossings, or you can continue down the trail in the Ghost Valley. And it's a tight trail, but it's a really nice trail heading down in there with a lot less traffic, so you get more snow and a tighter trail. But here we are, the beautiful Ghost Falls. Lunchtime! We always take this spot to have some hot dogs and some smokies or burgers or whatever we feel like having. So just getting the kids dished up so we can have some food and take a nice break. Well, everyone's having a snowball fight while I'm busy cooking. But just a great spot to stop. You always run into other people while you're there, and I've met some great people at the falls and had some great conversations. So enjoy it while you're there and have a little fire or do whatever you want, and then time to hit back on the trail. Time to make our way back. We're going to head over to Devil's Gap now, so we got a few more river crossings and some interesting trail along the way. We're going to go check out Devil's Gap for the first time, see what it's all about. Do you hear that? Yeah, that's a hybrid. Remember how I mentioned sometimes they're a little bit steeper? Yeah, that's my rear bumper hitting, unfortunately. Didn't quite angle that one right. But that's why you got good bumpers and keep continuing on. Found this really cool little offshoot. It was still part of the main trail, but only one set of tracks down it, so we decided to take it for a spin and see where it goes. Sometimes when you're on these trails, walkie-talkies are really nice so you can communicate and have a plan between each other. Quite often we'll stop and let one guy go ahead just in case you run into trouble so you can pull each other back or do what you need to do. But this ended up being a really nice scenic route. Of course, got to get those hero pics. Didn't see a single Toyota around, so had to make sure all the Jeeps are shown in the snow in the mountains where we are. On your way to Devil's Gap, there's this hill. This hill you can easily bypass around and you do not have to do it. But if you want to test out your articulation and your driving skills, I highly recommend you give it a try. As you can see, coming down, my articulation is maxed out. There's several times on this hill where I only have 2 tires making contact and I'm on the brakes max. But it was a lot of fun. I'm glad I did it, and that's why I built the Jeep, is to try this kind of stuff and see what it'll do. So, check it out or go around. If you ever wonder why it's called Devil's Gap, then this will show you why. Look at that. Just a big gap between beautiful mountains. Making our way back in there through the trail system. There was a little bit less traffic in here obviously before. So we followed this in. This takes you right to the end. Now the trail, there's a trail that keeps going, but it's a national park, so you cannot take your vehicles in there, and there is closures and everything else going back in there, so you want to pay attention to the maps. They have maps and everything right there, and it's actually a really cool read. Shows you Lake Minnewanka, where you are, shows you a whole bunch of campsites and everything along the way if you want to hike in there. So I really like maps and everything, so I read all of this to check it out. It was really cool. And then this shows you like the closures and where the campgrounds are on Lake Minnewanka. That's where I was telling you, sometimes the backup trail gets you in a little bit of trouble. Ways you can go in or out, and this is the way we chose. Thanks for watching. Time to air up the tires and head off to the next adventure. Remember to like and subscribe for more great footage.